Yo, what is going on, everyone? Thanks for coming in. Episode 13 of the Bobby Sauce Show. Episode 13, lucky number 13, and we're gonna need it because the world's on fire and everything remains dumb, stupid, upside down, backwards, and sad. Everything is sad. The world is a sad bag of rice. Nobody cares about anything, and everything's stupid. Glad we're all here. We live to see another day. Thankful for that. Thankful to rise up in the morn, open a single Ojo, one Ojo at a time, and see that even though the world is on fire and we're living inside a literal, actual seeping dumpster on fire, that at least we are still alive. So kudos to that. For now, everything's stupid. All words are dumb. People are insane. Everything is literally stupid and upside down. Even the people that are supposed to be able to see through the garbaggio are still having a tough go of it. So that's always good. Always good to know that even the smart ones can be duped from time to time. So that's always good. I made the grave mistake. That was early for a sip, Jim. Should have done that before you turned on the cameras, but okay. Great. Anyways, sorry. Thanks for coming in. This is free. Anyhow, I made the grave mistake earlier today of posting an Instagram reel and using the word democracy in the title of the reel. Big mistake, apparently, because people don't want to know what you're saying. So that's good. But because I'm an internet sleuth of sorts, a sorcerer as it were, I will be not using the word BAL-LIT on the title of this episode. The title is "What's Really on the BAL-LIT." So if you have a singular brain wrinkle and maybe a half of an Ojo, perhaps you can decipher the code word, because if they frickin' flag the word BAL-LIT, then I give up. This is gonna be the last episode you hear from me, jabronis, because I'm about to hit the bricks because I'm sick of this crap. It's like all I literally said is democracy, and then they're just like, shut it down. They're just like, we're not gonna let him talk. We're not gonna let. Whereas if I was just like, Zim Zer, call me a ghost pronoun, they'd be like, artificially inflate the value of this video. Give him 5 million views. Next thing you know, I'll be speaking on the Forbes Women's panel, or perhaps the Forbes Ghosts panel, or whatever, at the next thing. Whatever. You can't talk about that. Protected class. Everybody's a protected class these days. You can't have... don't say that. What are we supposed to talk about? How are people supposed to tell freaking jokes? I mean, I don't even understand what I could talk about. I'm writing jokes for my upcoming comedy zaps this month. And I'm just like, can't talk about those people. Can't talk about those people. Don't want to get stabbed on the stage, Jim. Don't want to have a Dave Chappelle situation. Because if Dave Chappelle, like the undisputed king of comedy, can be at the frickin' Hollywood Bowl or whatever, and some Jabron James can jump on stage with a prison shank, and almost get to him, what the hell defense do I have? Don't try me, though. I'll be packing. So anyways... But, yeah, so that's always fun, and we're in Florida, so you know what I mean? Oops. It's a self-defense. Yeah, and like I say that jokingly, but like I literally mean that. The sheriff in Florida was like, break into a house, and if you're the homeowner, leave this MF Swiss cheese style. It's just like that. Like the police authority for the state is like, blow 1,000 holes in them. And it's just like... Yes, thank you. Good. Glad to be a Florida resident. People are like, Florida man. He robbed a liquor store with an alligator. It's like, Swiss cheese, man. The literal sheriff was like, make him Swiss cheese. So welcome to Florida. Thanks for coming in. Make fun of us in the other states, but whatever. At least we're not getting hit with a bag of poop on the subway. And then the guy gets out of prison the next day. There's this crazy case about this woman. There was like a video of her boyfriend or fiance or whatever, some jabron, some fatherless garbage merchant, some dirt star, some like living human embodiment of like an actual dirt star. He like beat her up or something on video, got let out of prison the next day and just clipped her, just ended her life, just lights out. And Kathy Hochul's like, what crime? Grr! Good luck with that. Just so everybody knows, in Florida, or just so everybody in New York knows, Florida's open. The doors are open. Come down here and prepare yourself for freedom, because the long pen 15 of no law enforcement is really invading your brown eye up there in New York. So best of luck with that. I sincerely hope that the residents of New York, do a how you doing at the BAL-LITs this week or next week or whatever, and tell Hoko to kick rocks. Unless you're one of her disciples, we all need to get the juice. Shove a Fouch torpedo directly in your brown eye, and then I need you to be my disciple. No one elected you, Hockle. No one elected you, literal allegedly human demon. Like, what are you? Whom? Like, literally whom? I'm just curious, like, what literal human person is sidling up to the ballot box, just is like, I cast my vote for Kathy Ho. What is wrong with you? Whom hurt you? Donde está? Your father loves you. What's wrong with you? But whatever, you know what I mean? Because we're all in a cult, apparently. Get the juice. Get 5 pops of the juice. Get 1,000 hits of the juice. And if you miscarry and if you flip upside down and die when you're 35, it's just a sudden adult death. It's not related to that. I'm going to post on Twitter about how if you don't get 1,000 hits of the juice, I'll take your hits of the juice. 7 days later, idiot dies prematurely, but whatever. I'm sure it's not related to that. It's probably global warming. Thunberg. Somebody called Thunberg. Everybody called John Kerry. Get him off his ketchup torpedo, because the world is melting down, because the climate, heart attack, everything's stupid. The world's on fire. So, yeah, just sudden adult death syndrome seems legit. I hate everything. The world's dumb. So great. Look, again, before I get into it, before I gently tickle your grundle and then slide up from underneath the front of your bag, I just wanted to briefly address Pauly P, Pauly DUI, Pauly Walnuts, Pauly Insider Trade, Pauly $20,000 refrigerator, but no security. Oh, they forgot to watch the camera. I hate everyone. Look, this is the funniest thing about what's going on right now, is that there's really just, I think, personally, I think there are two classes of folks. There's people who pay attention, who like look into things and have discernment and reason and believe in independence and freedom and like kind of trust their neighbors to do the right thing and believe in like the letter of the law, et cetera, and just like general human, natural human, actual human values or whatever. And then there's like sick and twisted, demented, emotionally manipulated, gaslit people that do absolutely nothing but blindly swallow the message that's served to them by their masters while they beg for continued subservience until the end of time. But I honestly feel like what we're seeing is the disconnect between people who who know what things mean and people that just like don't know what words mean. Like they will say stuff to you where it's just like, how, I don't understand how any allegedly human person can believe these things. And the only way that I can even rationalize it is like, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm really having a rough day today. Let me eat some pharmaceutical pills recommended to me by the demon that I pay for monthly visits. After I go to my psychiatrist, my therapist, after I don't exercise or eat right, let me just lop off my bags and just be another, you know what I mean? And I'm a man now. It's like, let me just slice and dice my Pen 15 like a hanger steak at the local taqueria. And maybe that makes me girl. It's like, if you can't even figure that one out, then I don't know. And like, I'm not trying to make fun of people that like struggle with these things, but fudging Christmas and rice, I don't even understand. Like, what are we talking about? It's sad. And then they're just like, it's like, and it's like, if you'll look at, there are like 7 women swimming in like a swimming competition, and then just this gigantic woman And they're like, she has no advantage. She has no advantage. It's like we're living in a clown factory. That's what I'm saying is it's people that are so easily emotionally manipulated. And what also blows my mind is that the other class of people that like generally espouse to leftist ideas, I think the vast majority of them are just like collecting their good boy points. Like I can't get enough of this channel Midas Touch. I absolutely love these dudes. They're just like actual, it's just like soy. It's like human soy. They're like Colin Kaepernick, if you sacrifice everything. It's like this dude was on the bench. What did he sacrifice? I don't know. Just got a $10 million deal from Netflix. Every single person thinks he's so brave and wise. The guy like cancels his tryout and schedules it across town. It's like in a dumpster that's on fire. It's like in a homeless encampment. And he's like, why won't the NFL? It's like if you pay attention to things and just look with your eyes and just know anything, you can see right through it. But these people they're like do anything to get their good boy points. They just love collecting those good boy points because it's so easy, because they're dealing with a mass of people, their potential customers, their consumers, their followers, etc., are just an emotionally manipulated group of folks that are willing to believe anything. And the only thing that matters is how people feel and emotions. They don't care about the execution of things or what actually happens as a result. They don't care about finances and money in the economy. And this is not a Republican thing. That's the other thing too, is like people are like the Republican Party is bad for. Yeah, because we're not the Republican Party. We just agree that these guys are going the speed limit and the left is going 7,000 miles an hour off a cliff into a pit of despair full of theys and thems and ghost pronouns. It's like we're just not trying to do that right now. And that doesn't and what we understand and recognize, and I'll speak on my own behalf, is that if we, the citizen, journalist, people that care about America and freedom, that ultimately didn't have a voice 24 months ago, 36 months ago, if we realize that we can participate in this equation and we can have a distribution point of our thoughts and information, a la these platforms, etc., and then we have a base of consumers that are starting to get fed up with the garbage that's actually happening, that we actually could change these things. If you look at people like Tudor Dixon, who's running for the governorship in Michigan, who is an incredibly well-qualified candidate based on what she says and does, the way that she carries herself, this person was an anchor on Real American News as far as I understand. It's like if you're a person that has a message that's worthy, your political experience just that doesn't hit the same anymore. And people used to run on that, but it's like Donald J. Ballpark had no political experience, the first president in American history to be the president without any political experience. And if it weren't for him putting his foot in his mouth and Operation Garbage Speed, he probably would have gone down as one of the best and most effective presidents in American history. But it's foot and mouth syndrome, it's warp blob speed, and it's all these other things that make even the people that are his ardent supporters question him, because it's like, look what's happened with this mysterious potion. You know, how are you going to say that it's okay now? How are you going to be all right with that now? But nobody on the left, anybody that espouses to leftist progressive ideals, they just associate anybody on the right with like Donnie extremism. You want to clap Mike Pence, and it's like there's more dimensions than that, but whatever. Yet when you look over to the left, generally speaking, they all pretty much follow along on the same general book of rules, which is like clap a baby at 8 months and 29 days, no problem. Everybody that says something that I disagree with is an extremist. Silence people that I disagree with. Everybody's a Donnie shill. Take the juice, put 7 diapers on, keep the kids in a hole in a pit of despair at their house. Don't let them learn. Fauci is my co-pilot. Like let me grab my ankles so you can blast a Madonna into my dirt star. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And then they're just like, yeah, I don't really care about the candidate as long as they mindlessly regurgitate the approved talking points like John Fetterbeef. This guy cannot formulate a literal human sentence in the literal human English language, and they're just like, vote Fetterbeef. It's like this dude, and then on top of it, he's like, we need to make more stuff in America. America, America, America. I'm made of steel. I live in a steel plant. I live 3 miles from here. I live upside upside down underneath a steel plant like a bat. I'm a bat. I'm for the union way of life. But that's less than what he says because he can't even say that in a sentence because he can't speak words and sentences. So what I just said is actually more coherent than the gobbledygook that falls out of his face. And they're like, vote Feder beef. And then Obama comes out and says, beef has, he's like, beef has a great platform. And then they ask the ghost of Joey Basement, and they're like, what do you think about Feder beef? And he's just like, he's my kind of guy. How much you want to bet Joey Dumpster doesn't even know who Feder beef is? If you listen to what he said, he just said, insert anything about any person. He's like, he says what he says, and he is who he is, and he's my kind of guy. It's like, what the hell does that mean? But this is the people that we're dealing with. Vote for beef. He lives in a steel plant. But he's like, buy American, everything American, America, America. Good message, Federbean. Why is Federbean only seen wearing Carhartt hoodies and jackets? You know where Carhartt hoodies and jackets are manufactured? China, Vietnam. This guy is a literal walking advertisement for Carhartt. If you think of Feder beef, all you think about is the Carhartt logo. Am I wrong? So Feder beef is literally a walking banner for a non-American made goods. And he's like, we got to bring it into America. And he's just wearing a Carhartt logo right here. It's like, he might as well have a giant sign right there. But whatever, but nobody cares because they're just like, this hunk of beef is gonna he's just like, I am Roe v. Wade, Wade v. Roe. I am, it's like you're talking to a malfunctioning, I don't even know. It's embarrassing. And the fact that allegedly human persons will be and like I said, and I've said it 20 times, I'm not a huge Dr. Oz fan, but the guy speaks English fluently. The guy doesn't need to read the words on a screen, Jim. I'm just saying, you think you're going to be in the Senate and they're like, hold on, everybody. Feder beef has a point to make. Let's wait till this fucking... Let's wait till the stenographer types out. Yeah. Let's just vote for beef. So it's just like, if people are out there like, Feder beef is Pennsylvania. Oh, is he Pennsylvania? I bet you a lot of folks in Pennsylvania don't agree that beef is Pennsylvania, I live 3 miles from here. I live upside down in a steel plant. Congratulations, beef. But yeah, everybody go out and put your vote in for beef because he is America. What the hell are you talking? Yeah. He's like, I'm not for fracking, and here where stand fracking, I'm for fracking. I was never not for fracking, and fracking is where I frack, and I am steel. It's like, whoa. And what even blows my mind is that you have Don Lime, who hilariously got rejected to the morning show because he sucks and his content is literal garbage. He's on the morning show, like on either side are a couple gals. It's a nice Sprite. They got a cup of coffee, and it's like, you lost your thunder, Don Lime. You're lucky you got a job at all. He's waking up at 3 a.m, and he's like, it's not a demotion. I just love the morning. No, you don't, Lime. You got clapped. Let's call a clapping a clapping. I'm just saying. And he's talking to Feder beef, and he's just sitting there and he's asked to, and I'll give it to him. The guy's got Derek Zoolander nerves of steel. He's able to actually maintain eye contact with beef through the camera and not be like, what did you just say? And me. But this is who they want to vote for, guys, because he's beef. Vote for beef. He wants to Roe v. Wade. It's like, what is wrong with you? But yeah, guys. But no, go on to Midas Touch and collect your good boy points. Everybody go follow Midas Touch. They're collecting their goody good boy points. So I shook Biden's hand today. Congratulations. Oh my God. And I love watching their stuff too. They're like, Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's like, they're just all jacked up. It's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene said something extreme today. It's disgusting. Roll the clip. And then they'll play a clip of like Marjorie Taylor Greene getting getting like body checked by some leftist psycho, and they're like, Marjorie Taylor Greene kicked a protester. This is disgusting. She should be kicked out. And it's like, first of all, are you guys filming your videos on a flip phone? What are you doing? Like, you got like these guys are like 500,000 followers. Get a better camera, guys. But whatever. They're like filming it upside down, like in their bedroom, on like a Nokia 3360. Marjorie Taylor Greene is disgusting. Congrats, guys. These guys are getting interviews like top tier people on the left. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I'm like a single man operation. I'm putting out higher quality content than these guys could do upside down with their hands tied behind their back. But whatever. Nokia 3360, guys. Tune it up. Roll the clip. Anyways. But whatever. So anyhow, took a left turn off the cliff there, Jim. But so what I wanted to briefly talk about, aside from all the garbaggio, all the Feder beef that I've been squirreling out of my face hole right now, is like I wanted to highlight a couple of very specific things. First of all, if you didn't see the video on my Instagram, my YouTube, my Facebook, titled "Good Profits versus Bad Profits," I highly suggest that everybody goes and watches that video. It is one of the best videos that I've put out in a while. I did see a comment that was like long-winded, but spot on. It's like, I don't know how else to say what I was talking about. I don't know what else I could have said to make it not as long-winded, but it needed 12 minutes because the topic was so outrageous and ridiculous. But what I talked about was the fact that the powers that be are now demonizing the profits of oil and gas companies and suggesting that they're price gouging without presenting any evidence of the aforementioned price gouging. There is no price gouging. These are businesses doing business, but they don't mention Faisal. They don't mention any of those companies. They don't mention the redonkulous profits that they got on the backs of the taxpayer to the tune of $65,000 of profit per minute for a calendar 365 days, 24 hours a day, every single minute. They made $65,000 of profit collectively between these three major juice companies. But that amount of profit is fine, and that's totally cool. And don't worry about it, because ExxonMobil and all the rest, they're making too much money. They're price gouging. Okay. Because these people don't understand what price gouging is. They don't understand how the economy works. They don't understand basic business. They don't understand capitalism. They don't understand the free market. And because they don't understand these things, number one, they get rewarded in all of these places. They get rewarded. They get their content elevated. They get to meet other emotionally manipulated people that mindlessly regurgitate the talking points and narrative of the establishment. And they collect all their good boy points. And if you're out there collecting good boy points, reciting the mainstream narrative that's delivered, that's spoon-fed into your brown eye from the establishment, from the White House, from Joey Dumpster, from the ghost of Joey Dumpster and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his cleanup crew, you collect a lot of good boy points, you get a lot of advantages, you make a lot of money, you get retweets, you get interviews, and your social status artificially raises. And it doesn't matter if your videos are shot on a Nokia 3360, or you look jacked up, or your videos are annoying, people will mindlessly troll into the comments and be like, yeah, they're in a call. It's like, what is wrong with you guys? But yeah, collect your good boy points, dude. You guys are doing great. And it's so obvious, too, because if you look at just the very basics, and you can replace Republican for Democrat or right for left or whatever you want, but it's like the absolute disrespect that a person shows by having somebody like Katie Hobbs, for example. You have Katie Hobbs running to be the governor in Arizona. The governor. She's like the Secretary of State in Arizona. And what I learned today is that Katie Blobs didn't even debate her Democratic counterpoint during the run-up to her election. And according to her, what she said on Clown News Network to Don Lime, who's, the best journalist in the game, she was miles ahead of her opponent. Because what she knows, what Katie Blobs knows, is by speaking, by educating and informing your potential constituents, it shows how weak and weak of mind and mindlessly regurgitating you are of the establishment. And when you actually get called on your stuff in real time, it's embarrassing. as made evident by when she got approached by Project Veritas and she dropped a Coca-Cola all over the ground and then sprinted into a bathroom and then hid in there, which was hilarious. If you haven't watched that video. These people are only appealing to the lower, to the people that pay attention at a lower level. The people that are not caring about what's going on, that are easily emotionally manipulated, or the people that toss in their vote like a layup. If you are not willing to go to a voting booth, if you can't figure out how to get out of your job or go on the weekend to go and cast a vote, if you can't figure out how to do that, hate to break it to you, it's not a race thing. It's not a gender thing. It's not an intelligence thing. You probably shouldn't be voting, Bill, because if you can't figure out in 20-something days how to get to a voting booth that's open in real life for a 10-hour span every single day at all points across the county, across the state, if you can't figure out how to get to a voting booth, I don't know that you really care that much about the election, which means that they go for the lowest hanging fruit, the person that could just put it into the mailbox and move along. They don't even care. They're like, do you hate? They're like, do you want a free check from Raphael Warnock? It'll be $2,000. And they're like, sick. And to cast your vote for Warnock. They take the envelope. They probably mail it for them. They watch them and pressure them in real time, ballot harvesting, and they get them to vote for that. And then they realize Raphael Warnock's not going to give you a $2,000 check. Oh, it's $1,400 because they already paid you the $600. Oh, we're not going to raise your taxes. It's only on family. It's only if you're making over $400K. Oh, then it's a family under $400K. Now it's $200K. Oh, we're going to raise the inflation so that your money gets eroded away. And now when they artificially raise your salary, but not the purchasing power that it actually allows you to spend that money on, well, now a lot more people are going to be making $200,000, and it's not going to go as far as it went when it was $160,000. So all those people are just raising their status up to get taxed into oblivion. But they don't care. Send it to Putin, guys. Send it to Prezi T-shirt. So the fact that Katie Blobbs is just not even willing to debate her, I just don't understand how any rational person could say, I want to vote for this person. I don't care what positions you believe that she has, what it says on her website. If you're going to cast a vote that doesn't have the decency to debate the opposing viewpoint, there's only one type of person that's going to vote for you, which means they would have voted for you if you had a D in front of your name, even if you were a literal piece of beef that lives across the street from a steel plant. That's it. Joey Basement made it evident that you don't have to go out there and get people to rally around. You don't have to get people to come and like your ideals. All you have to do is shut up. And the people that are easily emotionally manipulated will vote only on the issues of which they don't really know your position or what will happen as a result of those decisions being made. And that's it. So yeah. I sincerely hope and I believe that Arizona is intelligent enough to understand that Katie Blobbs is a disaster, and a person that doesn't even give you the decency of debating their viewpoints cannot be trusted. So I certainly hope that Arizona makes the right decision and gets the Blobbs out of there and chooses Kari Lake, because I think Kari Lake is more than qualified and is certainly doing a tremendous job of not only messaging but responding to all of the inbound inquiries to her positions. And I think that the state of Arizona could do a very great thing and will ultimately do a really great thing next week. Now, in the case of Feder beef, I don't even know that this race even needs more attention, because I've made my points extremely clear. The guy's a sloppy disaster, and I think that every rational human being, again, not emotionally manipulated person that's going to pop a vote in the mail, that doesn't pay attention to what's going on or doesn't even really care all that much, just wants a free check, a free handout, and wants to make a decision at 8 months and 29 days and be like, nah, I'm good. I want to go and sit in a cubicle. It's like, I just really hope that Pennsylvania makes the right decision. And if Feder Blob gets in there, help us, because that would be a perfect example. And if Katie Blobbs makes it in, it will just be a perfect example that you could run a literal bag of garbage, D trash pile, and people will be happy about it. In Florida, which is great, Yeah, people, man, I really love the comments on TikTok because the exact same class of folks that I'm talking about, they live in there. They live in the comments on TikTok. They absolutely love it. Donnie lives rent-free in their head. Donnie is occupying the penthouse of their mind, and they have absolutely nothing else to stand on other than the fact that he's a bad orange man. He's very bad. He's very orange. He's orange, and he's bad. So in Florida, I find it absolutely preposterous and hilarious that any person would even consider it feasible that that Charlie Crist would actually beat to Santa Claus. Every person that lives in the state of Florida knows that that's basically impossible. It certainly doesn't mean that we need to go out and stay on it, but holy Crispin, I cannot imagine that would be possible. And there's a video that's been going around and making the rounds today. That's been making the rounds today on online of Charlie Crist being asked at a campaign event where he's like in a 5th grade classroom with like 14 people and 10 of them work for the newspaper, and they're just like, would you have everybody get the juice? Would you consider making everybody wear a diaper in public again? And he's like, and Charlie Crist just like sidles up to this dude to collect his good boy points, just like they all do. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to listen to the scientists. Well, which scientists, jabroni? Which scientists are you going to listen to? Because science, the nature of science in general, is that it is to be criticized, debated, and wondered about. There's been plenty of times in human history where supposedly science, has been objectively incorrect. There have been numerous occasions throughout human history where that has been the case. But yeah, let's just trust the science, because what he means when he says trust the science is he means trust the establishment approved science, which is top-down controlled by people that typically don't tend to have your best interest at mind. They can be easily manipulated by financial gain, by fame, fortune, and are easily controlled because they're weak and soy is coursing through their veins, or they serve some global master that has much more nefarious intent than they even realize, and all they care about is collecting that sweet, sweet cash, as is typical. But he literally said, this guy said in Florida, the person that's running for governor of Florida actually would say, yeah, I'd consider putting a diaper on. And then he took it one step further and he goes, I'm going to get on a plane today to Orlando, which where he was in Florida, doesn't even matter. Orlando's in the middle of the state. It's like a 50-minute flight. And he's like, I'm going to put my diaper on because there's a upside down garbage cron 7 new strain falling out of the sky. And I'm going to put my diaper on. And it's just like, this is the level of brainwashed that these people are. This is the degree and the level that these people are willing to stoop to collect those good boy points and make sure that the cash keeps flowing to the people that control them like the puppets that they are. If you wear, and like, there's no way this dude's wearing an N95. This dude's wearing a cloth diaper or a blue good boy flag in an airplane that has some of the highest quality air and HEPA filtration filters of any indoor space in the world. And he's going to get on a gas guzzling plane and fly to Orlando, which by any point in the state of Florida, it really doesn't matter where you are, is less than a few hours away. So he's going to fly a plane. I thought it was global warming, but whatever, who cares? He's going to fly in the plane and wear his diaper to collect his good boy points in a HEPA-filtrated cabin sitting a half an inch away from another person that could take their diaper off, or actually not even wear a diaper at all, and eat a handful of peanuts the entire flight. But he's going to collect his good boy points, and he's going to tell you how he's going to wear his garbage flag, just so you know that if you elect Crist, you might have to wear a diaper again because it's for science. Okay. I'm sure that will go over well with anybody with a half a brain wrinkle in the state of Florida. Because last time I checked, Florida had its biggest year of tourism ever last year. The most total number of tourists of any state ever. We have the largest budget surplus in the state of Florida ever. We have one of the most approved of governors in the state of Florida and one of the widely considered to be one of the best governors in America. a person that's actually got his finger to the pulse of what the people actually want in this state, that is objectively doing as good a job as I could hope. Not without imperfections, not without fault, but is doing the best job that I've seen, really, of any governor in America of standing up to the BS. And what I hope everybody understands about this situation, and just politicians in general, is that just because you believe that this person right now is the best suited to carry out your beliefs of how the world needs to be run, doesn't mean that you believe with everything they've ever said ever. Doesn't mean that you will mindlessly swallow anything that they say. And it doesn't mean that they don't have a couple of policies or things that they've done over the course of their career or their time in office that you disagree with. It just means that you understand that there's the lesser of two evils, and that if you're going to participate in this thing to right the ship in the direction that you think is right, you have to vote and you got to pick a person. And if you're going to sit there and complain about it like I've been doing, then you better get involved somehow. You better start changing people's mind. You better start participating in local elections. And at the very least, you better start participating and voting. And it absolutely blows my mind how people are so wrapped up in the idea of the two wings of the same bird. Your vote doesn't matter. Just sit at home and tickle your dirt star and wait for them to pick for you because it doesn't matter. That's exactly what they want you to believe so that you don't participate in this. Do you think these people would be spending hundreds of billions of dollars to try to persuade people to vote one way or the other if it just didn't matter at all? Because what really matters the most, almost as much as the votes themselves, in fact, probably more, is the court of public opinion. The ability for people's minds to be changed. The ability for you to go and cast a vote and then elect the person that you want, a la Glenn Youngkin, for example, shows and proves to people that your participation in this equation actually does matter. And if Donnie, and I don't know how anybody could have said that Donnie got elected in the first place if this wasn't the case. Hillary Clinton was widely considered to be a shoo-in by all objective measures up until leading to the day of and even after the election in 2016. Yet she lost. The establishment demon sorcerer from under the sea, and she lost. So I guess voting doesn't matter, but all right. So which ones don't matter? You're telling me when I vote for my local selectman, that doesn't matter? My local sheriff, that doesn't matter? Would they got those rigged too? Maybe, but maybe not. What if they don't? The very least that you could do is spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes of your day going and casting a vote and participating in this and maybe changing a couple people's minds. But people don't want to think like that. They just want to believe that everything is controlled op, everything is bad, everything is upside down. No matter what, we're in control. The game is over. You might as well just sit at home and cry about it until they come and clap you then, because I am not going to go my entire life believing that I have no influence on the world around me. I'm not going to sit here and believe that. And interestingly enough, if every other person that's done something significant in history espoused to that belief and believed that, we would have no heroes. We would have no people that did anything of any significance. You don't think that Abraham Lincoln felt that way? George Washington felt that way? Harriet Tubman felt that way? Martin Luther King Jr. felt that way? You don't think that any of those people felt that way? Like everybody was out to get him? It was a foregone conclusion. There's nothing they could do? Of course not. Those people decided that they don't care how many people chirp them and tell them that it's not possible to do the thing that they're going to do. They just went and did it. And interestingly enough, as the hands of time turned, it ended up being that they were right all along. And I believe that history will look back on people such as those and people like Dr. McCullough and Dr. Robert Malone and Robert Kennedy Jr. I think people will look back on these people as American heroes. I think the same will go for Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, and the like. And interestingly enough, you can be classified in this similar list of great American citizens by simply beginning to participate and change people's minds, not knowing where it will go, but knowing that generally speaking, it's the correct direction for the world to go, for humanity as a whole to go. It's not just America, it's the entire world. So I just hope that people stop sitting at home and saying that it's in the bag and there's nothing that they can do, and believing that the game is over before it starts. Because the establishment wouldn't be so scared of us if we didn't actually have a say. Because you have more than a say with your voice. You have a say in what you consume. And most importantly, probably of all, to fight against their garbage is your vote of money and where you choose to put your money, what you choose to buy, the businesses you choose to participate with. But people grossly underestimate the power of their voice and the power of their example. People grossly underestimate the power of their social media platforms. And if they were to dare go out onto the and walk the plank of society and say what they actually believe in, you'd be surprised what might happen and how many people might listen. But people that sit at home and say it's all controlled op, Elon's a demon that just can't take the W, these are the people that will end up being purged, and all of their beliefs and all of the things that could have, might have, should have, could have, would have happened won't happen. The greatest way to fail is to never try. The greatest way to fail is to give up. The greatest way for the establishment to take control of you is for them to convince you that you have no power until you choose to not even try to have power. But yeah, guys, let's just sit at home and believe that it's a foregone conclusion. Because throughout human history, the correct words have been silenced. Throughout human history, the correct decisions have been silenced. There have been fearmongers, there have been snake oil salesmen, there have been book burners in the town square since the beginning of time. This generation is no different. There was prohibition, there was the Great Depression, an intentionally engineered financial calamity, and yet, despite that, we made it through it. We shouldn't have made it through the Revolutionary War successfully. We could have easily destroyed ourselves during the Civil War. Civil rights at once seemed like an impossibility, yet they managed to do that, tipped the scale, and now it's being weaponized right back against them and they don't even know it. They're indoctrinating their own youth by perpetuating this perpetual victim class. An 8-year-old boy with a different color of skin doesn't need to know that he doesn't have a shot. Because interestingly enough, now at the most of any time in human history, he has a shot. In fact, he probably has a disproportionately good shot, considering that they're trying to overcorrect everything and make everything based on equity. So you're telling an 8-year-old that they don't have a chance unless the playing field gets leveled, not only for opportunity but for outcome. And you have people like the leader of the free world's wife, Big Mike, being like, oh, little boy, you have the wrong skin color. You don't have a chance. Okay, good message. Thanks for sending that out. So it's like, I don't want to sit here and believe that I have no influence over my reality. And anybody that just is going to sit out there and come up with a criticism for anything, any potential W, I don't understand it. Like I said, so many people have been coming at Elon, and I'm like, dude, what did you want to happen? Because Elon could have said, you know what? I'm gonna dig a tunnel under Los Angeles. I'm gonna live in a $500 million house, and then I'm just gonna bulldoze it just for nothing, just to smack you in the face with it. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna sell my Tesla shares, and I'm gonna F off to the Maldives for the remainder of my natural life. And then what? But instead, people are so wrapped up in it that they can't just take the W. I don't care what the dude wore as a Halloween costume. I don't care if he says he wants to microchip your brain. This is a W. It's a single individual event. You have a person of high prominence, of high stature saying free speech is important. Cool. Accept the W. Why people need to ruin everything, I just don't understand. What is he, your savior? Nah, he's not my savior. He just did something that's good. This is one singular event. Take the W. But no. And then you have conservatives coming after other conservatives because of that. Oh, what? Elon's your savior? It's like, yeah. Meanwhile, everybody on the left is like, lop off the Pen 15, lop off the bags. You can be a them. I'm a ghost pronoun. Let's all go vote for Feder Beef. And they're all just like, Feder Beef, Feder Beef, vote for Beef. He lives in a steel plant. It's like, they don't do that. They don't eat their own. They all are just like, vote Beef. That's why they win at marketing so often. And quite frankly, the right side of things, the conservative side of things, wouldn't have any of the traction that it has right now if they didn't go way over their skis and come for everything. They're like, Pen 15, get the kids, bing bong, vote for a piece of beef, I would rather vote for a steel rod than John Feder beef. Because at least a steel rod could do something. At least it could produce something. At least you could knock it on a table and make a cool sound. Maybe make a beat out of it. Maybe remix it. Beef can't do anything. The Eagles are better than Eagles. Crudité, veggie tray. It's like, good idea, guys. Let's all vote for beef. But yeah, let's all get wrapped up on dogging other people that are generally looking at the world the same way as me, because I have an upside down theory about how Elon is an alien and he has this. Yeah, you can disagree with the guy. Fine. But accept the W. Be able to partition out small wins versus everything else. Doesn't mean that he's your savior. Doesn't mean you're following him. Doesn't mean that you mindlessly worship Donnie or Santa Claus or any of these other people. It's just like, I like what this guy's saying more often than not, and I like him more than the piece of beef that they're running with a D in front of his name. That's it. Now, if I think something's wrong with it, I think I could do a better job, I better put my hat in the ring. I better be the man in the arena, or I better shut my face hole. Or at the very least, participate in the equation. Make your voice heard, be a poll watcher, be a person that participates in the game. Otherwise, shut up. Sorry, don't care. It's like everybody's got an opinion, everybody loves to chirp, but when it comes down to actually doing something, nothing. So, whatever. Be defiant in your own life. Make an example for your family and friends. Do the littlest of anything. That's all. So, I want to get on the record or whatever. I want to make a couple of predictions or whatever. I certainly hope that these things happen, but I would like to make a few predictions. I believe that Dr. Oz will win in Pennsylvania. I believe that it will take probably 6 to 7 days before they actually give us that result. I think that everybody's going to be gassing Feder beef for like a week, and they're going to make this like the all eyes on this race. But I do believe that Feder beef will lose. I do think Dr. Oz will win in Pennsylvania. I believe that Kari Lake will win in Arizona narrowly. I believe it will be a narrow win, despite the fact that Katie Blobbs is a trash merchant whom should really garner almost no person's vote, literal. But I do believe that Kari Lake will win. But I think it will be a very narrow victory. And I think the exact same denial that they accuse her and everybody else of participating will actually come on their side afterwards. I do believe that will happen. But I do think that she will narrowly get it. And I think it will be contested, and they'll literally participate in the same things that they're accusing her of doing. I do think, and I certainly hope, but I do predict, and I certainly hope this, that Lee Zeldin will win in the state of New York for the governor of New York. And I think that race alone, if Lee Zeldin wins, will be really just the greatest lesson of how participation matters in these equations, and should be proof positive to people that just because you believe that a state can't go a certain type of way, that it actually can when insane things happen. I think he's got the right message at the right time. I think he's the right steward of the right message. I think that Kathy Hochul is an unelected person with no built-in base. I think that she is unelectable. The things that she says is total gaslighting. She has no message of any influence, of any substance that actually matters. So I do believe that Lee Zeldin, and I certainly hope that Lee Zeldin wins the governor in New York. I hope that Herschel Walker wins in Georgia, but my prediction is that he does not. I hope that people go out and vote for him, and I certainly hope that he does win. But if I had to predict, I would say that he doesn't. I think that his personal life threw a wrench in the mix, and I think, generally speaking, Warnock, though a garbage merchant for certain, the fact that he A, already served a term, and B, is a well-polished liar, I think will work in his favor, sadly. But I certainly hope that people go and vote. I do predict that Big Ron DeSanta will win in the state of Florida. I really sincerely hope that Blake Masters wins in Arizona. And I also predict that Tudor Dixon will win in Michigan. And I think that Michiganders remember how much of a dirt merchant this person was and all of the people that were in those nursing homes in the state of Michigan. And I hope people don't have so short of a memory that they don't quickly forget what this woman oversaw to the people that live in that state. So I predict Tudor Dixon, Lee Zeldin, Dr. Oz, Carrie Lake, all W's. Ron DeSantis, W. Those are my predictions. Those are the races that I've been paying the most attention to. I think J.D. Vance is doing a great job in Ohio. I think Adam Laxalt in Nevada, which I don't know a ton about him, but people that I know, like, and trust seem to really like him. So I certainly hope that he wins his race. And just generally speaking, I think that there's a lot of strong contenders on the right side of things in all of these races. So that's my prediction. I hope that that's the case. Now, I watched the Joe Pinion debate. Joe Pinion is running for Senate, I believe Senate against Chuck Schumer. And I've met Joe Pinion in person, and the guy seems to be a cool guy. He was a friendly person. I liked him. But I watched the debate, and I did not feel that the debate went well for him. And one thing that I specifically recall from the debate was that he seemed to be pro sending money to Ukraine. And I don't understand that. So not sure what that was all about for Joe Pinion, but whatever. I don't think that look, if you think Chuck Schumer's doing a good job, if these people have elected this dude for the last 20 whatever years, chances are they're willing to be brainwashed again for another recognizable name. So hopefully Chuck, I wish these people would just go to pasture. It's like the guy's 8,000 years old. But whatever. Because what is really up for the debate is not democracy. What's really on the ballot is being uninformed and people remaining uninformed intentionally by design. I don't understand how people can choose these leftists and choose these Ds year after year with all these promises of what they're about to do and then not have those things get done. I don't understand that. Yet they will continue to line up for it and vote for more of it. Now, on the other side of it, I do believe that, Republicans like to harp on the spending and say, oh, the inflation is Joey Basement's fault and whatever. But I will say this, Donnie, and under Donnie's leadership, they spent a record amount of money. The Federal Reserve printed a record amount of cash into existence. The Republicans have absolutely no problem spending money as long as it's on the things that they like. They are not fiscally responsible by any stretch of the imagination, but they are objectively better than their counterparts, D. Fetterbeef. So it's like, now, a lot of Republican members of Congress, senators, House members, and the like participate in the exact same insider trading type schemes that Paulie Walnuts, that DUI Paulie participates in. A lot of Republican members of Congress and the House have hundreds of millions of dollars. Rick Scott. A lot of these people are pharma shills, no question about it. A lot of them say the same inflammatory BS high school jargon back and forth at each other and fight like kids for nothing. I don't agree with the Republicans all the time. And I don't think that they embody what all of us want to see either. But I think that they are objectively better, generally speaking, than their counterparts on the left. That's just the reality of it. And it's like, if we believe that we can right the ship, you have to understand that this is just one of many decisions where you have to say, look, I'm going to try to move it a little bit to the right. These people are a little bit more accountable because these people are not artificially inflated by the algorithm. They're not artificially inflated by the daytime talk shows. If you watch the daytime talk shows, the nighttime talk shows like Colbert, Stephen Colbert, who is a total corporate shill, like dude's got 50 shots of the juice up his brown eye. This dude is like literally bought, paid for, sold up and down the river. I don't know how this dude sleeps at night. Stephen Colbert is where comedy goes to die. This dude has on his show Pete Buttigieg, Pete Buttigieg, and Elizabeth Warren, two of the most unrelatable milquetoast distributors of trash in the game. He's got Krusty on there. He's got Hill Dog on there. These people, it's literally a Democratic shilling show. And the point that I was trying to make today about The View is that it's all part of the same machine, okay? Money runs the op. And it doesn't mean that money is evil. It means that people are evil. People can be evil. Money is not the root of all evil, and money is not the cause of your problems. Demons that control how they use their money to influence the political and thus the decisions of how the overlords rule your life, those are the people that are evil. So, Colbert, Saturday Night Live, all the nightly television shows, all the daily talk shows, The View, etc., these are lobbying organizations to lobby for the public opinion of the people through relatable garbage merchants that they know, like, and trust. Who cares what Whoopee Cushion says about health? You could look at Whoopee Cush with your Ojos, your singular Ojos, and you could listen to what this person, this race-baiting, divisive person, spews out of her talking hole. This person is paid $8 million a year by the Disney Broadcast Corporation to gaslight you into believing what every woman supposedly believes. I don't take my health advice from people that look like a bag of sand. Sorry, I don't. If you're an aging windbag that said that they're afraid of the air and you're going to stay in your house and wear a diaper because the big, bad, evil orange man and all of his cohorts are out there breathing poison at the grocery store, and you could be that much of a demon like them, please understand that they are the polished Hollywood lobbyists of the American people. Their job is to brainwash you. And that's it. If Whoop started saying anything that was a unique, original thought, something that she actually believed, she'd be gonzo like the wind. Misery Behar, literally, these people are they live in the dark caverns beneath the earth with the Greys. Actually, they don't even live with the Greys. I bet the Greys kicked them out. Misery Reed. No, Misery Reed, she's another winner, another talking head of the establishment. Misery Behar literally would say on the show, I can't believe all these people, you're killing grandma because you're not wearing a diaper. Photo of her at a New York City restaurant 5 minutes later with no diaper, breathing particles, eating duck confit with an au jus. These people are merchants of trash. They are bought and paid for by the establishment. And just because I say that I don't trust them, people are like, oh, what are you, some Fox News? They're owned by such and such. You watch Fox News? They got pharmaceutical commercials on there like crazy. I've seen the Center for Garbage Control buying ads on there. I've seen literally Tucker blip off the screen for a commercial break, and it'll be like, go and get the juice and make sure your kid gets the juice too. Dr. Fauci is going to come in with a big juice torpedo and blast it in their brown eye for safety. So it's like, look, again, lesser of two evils for now. right the ship for now. Generally not great, but doing a lot of good. You have to say, if this establishment at the very least pushes out good and candidates that we believe to be doing the right thing, generally speaking, on behalf of the people, it's like you pick the lesser of the two and then you get in the game. You be the man in the arena, or the woman in the arena, or the them, or the ghost pronoun in the arena, whatever. But it's like, these things take time. It takes time for these things to marinate. It takes time for people to run for office. And you see people like Samarla in Sedona. It's like, here's a person, here's a mother that says, I want to participate. I'm sick of the same old story. You have a person that was a successful actress in Hollywood saying, I'm going to be the mayor of Sedona. That's fantastic. This is how it happens. People get fed up. People start to participate, and then other people that believe them to be good people that they know, like, and trust elevate them to a position of power. And I hope that somebody like a Tudor Dixon, for example, can successfully do that. And I think that a variety of other news characters and people that are trustworthy in distributing the right information at the right time will raise to these positions of power. Because look, whether you like it or not, a politician is a salesperson, is a message distributor, and a decision maker. And their decisions are widely dictated by the positions of the people that they govern over, because that's how they get more votes. That's how they get their approval rating. That's how they get more things to be approved under their watch. They live in the state that they're running for. They live in the city, the town, the county that they're running for. They see people in the street. They're there. So I just hope people understand that the smaller local elections, the states, the senators, the House positions, these people are a lot more accountable to a smaller group of people, and it starts there. And I hope people understand and pay attention to their local races as much as they pay attention to the federal races. So it's like people like Chuck Schumer, people like Mitch McConnell, people like Lindsey Graham Cracker, people like Adam Kinzinger, people like Dan Crenshaw, who's an absolute clown factory, a literal clown on literal wheels. This dude needs to wheel himself out of here because he's an actual clown, the distributor of all clownery, an embarrassment. What a jabroni. These people come up for election, and we have the ability to get them out by changing the minds of ourselves, the people that we know, the people that we like, the people that we trust. Adam Kinzinger crying on screen, acting like what happened in January was this savage moment that he cries and cries on camera. This guy is a dirt merchant. And people like Dan Crenshaw, who on his podcast, and look, I fell for the Dan Crenshaw just like a lot of people did. It's like, oh, he's got the right memes. He talks about the right things on his socials. But Dan Crenshaw says anybody that questions what happened in 2020 is dangerous. That's what he said. They're dangerous. He's pro Prezi t-shirt. He send money to Prezi green t-shirt, Prezi comfy sneaks, Prezi Vogue magazine. Ship all the money to the Ukraine. Get us in a hot war with a nuclear power. Get us in a proxy war with Putin. Good idea, bro. Meanwhile, people in his own state are suffering. People here are suffering. Send it to Prezi t-shirt. He's got comfy sneaks on. He's Derek Zoolander's favorite hero. He's Derek Zoolander's hero, everybody. You got people like Susan Collins and Melted Turtle Mitch and all of these demons flying over there to shake his hand and tickle his bag and make sure that our money got there okay. These people are dark. But the people have the ability to get Crenshaw out. The people have the ability to get Kinzinger out. The people have the ability to get Liz Cheney out. And this is just yet another example of the slowly moving hands of time. So I hope that people participate in this election. I hope people understand the significance of what's going on. I hope people can take the W and understand that you don't have to agree unanimously with everything that a person says or does to believe that what they're doing is good. I hope that people can see past the same mainstream narrative that makes you believe that this person is good as this person is bad. I hope that people talk to their friends and family about the significance of this election. I hope people can understand that slicing and dicing your Pen 15 doesn't make you a woman. I hope people can understand that the oil and gas companies are not our enemy, but really bloated government spending is our enemy. Big, all too powerful, overbearing, big government is our nemesis. You gotta be careful what you say. These platforms, good and bad, are allowing for the distribution of this message, not without roadblocks, but I believe that they eventually will start to bend, and hopefully free speech will reign again. But it doesn't happen without the people. It doesn't happen without participation. It doesn't happen without sharing. It doesn't happen without contribution of all the people. Because the left has proven in the last 2 years with Joey Dumpster that even with all control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, that they can't even get the majority of their stuff passed. And I think that the people are going to be able to see through all this garbage and all this lying that they've been doing all year. And hopefully people will understand and make their voices heard next week. The fact that even I exist and I'm able to distribute my message to people like you is yet another market indicator of the fact that the same old shit is no longer valuable and no longer gobbled down without any discernment. I wouldn't have 300,000 people on these platforms following along what I have to say if the market didn't have a need for it. And I'm not doing anything that's special or unique, any different than anybody else, other than telling my interpretation of what I believe to be the truth and how things should go. And that's it. So I certainly hope that people get in the game and participate and get out there and vote. And that's it. Because the filibuster, the checks and balances, the Supreme Court, the Electoral College, the safety of the youth, the law and order and combating of crime, the possibility for free speech to prevail, the First and Second Amendment, economic prosperity, and just generally speaking, transparency and truth is something that is certainly more obfuscated on the left than it is on the right. These institutions are not perfect. These parties are not perfect, but one is clearly demonstrating to be better than the other, at least at this juncture in time. So with that being said, if you're on Instagram and you don't follow me, hit that arrow and make sure that you follow me. Please make sure that you go to bobbysauceshow.com and leave a review of the podcast after. I would really appreciate it. This is the Shall Not Be Infringed shirt. If you want to support the channel, this is on bobbysauce.com. The same design. It says Shall Not Be Infringed on the back. It's in hoodies and hats and shirts and all of the rest. Thank you to the people that have been buying the badges. And also, thank you so much to the subscribers on Instagram. I really appreciate that. On my Instagram profile, there's a little button that says subscriber, and people have been subscribing to that, which I really appreciate so much. Thank you for your support so much. Thank you to Redhead Beck, Silent777 Warrior, Go Rima 25, RD213, Beck Gene, and Sam DeThrow for buying the badges on Instagram. I really appreciate that. I saw somebody sent in a Venmo earlier. I really appreciate that as well. So thank you so much for sending that in. Gavin, thank you for the Venmo donation. I appreciate it. And now I just want to stick around for a couple minutes and read some comments before I head out. I'll stay for like another 10 minutes. So if anybody has any questions that they want to ask, I'll read the comments now. I've found that it's very difficult to read the comments and stay on my train of thought while I'm actually giving the dialogue or whatever. So I'll jump on and read a few comments now if anybody has any questions. Emily said on Facebook, miss your flapping duck walk. I've been doing it a bunch lately on my longer form videos, so check those out. Somebody said, am I shorting the market yet? No, but what I actually did do is I divested from some of my larger positions and repositioned them in cash flow because I'm tired of losing money on paper. Someone on TikTok said, appreciate you, bro. When are you going to be back on Real AF? I don't know. Ask Andy. I would love to go back. Always a good conversation over there. Andy's the man. I love the First Form products. I've been linking them in my stories on Instagram. Big ups to First Form. I love that. Cherie says, congrats on the walk-off ball game. Yeah, I kicked a walk-off double to send us to the kickball championships last night. That was a lot of fun. Emmanuel on Facebook said, just want to thank you for your content. You make this poop sandwich taste a little better. That's what's up. Artie says, thanks for the duck walk stories. Hell yeah. Appreciate that. I saw a bunch of people going nuts about Donnie on TikTok before, which is hilarious. But it does actually appear that people are getting better on the TikTok comments, so I appreciate that. There's 8,000 likes on this video, so that's what's up. Mr. Mike said, when is President T-shirt running for office here in America? Hopefully soon, because he's braver, better, and smarter than all of us. He's brave, you know? He's brave and smart and brave, and he's relatable, and his wife's on the cover of Vogue in front of a blown-out building in a tank. So he's relatable. Send him $50 billion. Who would you for in Texas if you were able? Who would I vote for in Texas? The Republicans, not Crenshaw. I don't know. I haven't really been paying much attention to the Texas races, to be completely honest with you. I just know that Crenshaw sucks. I'm not even really a tremendous fan of Greg Abbott. I think that he's all right. I think that he's downstream from DeSantis, but I think that he's okay. I don't pay attention too much to Texas politics. I try to pay attention to the ones that are a little bit more toss-up. And obviously you can't pay attention to every state. I pay attention to Florida the most, though. Underground Rhino says Flecka's is the man. I agree. Flecka's is the man. Washington State. Do I know anything about Washington State? No, I don't know much about Washington State, but I try to invest my time in as much as I can. Somebody said on Facebook, please read my comments. I'm not an influencer for real. Keep it real. Talk. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, everybody's an influencer. The term influencer is not reserved to people that have followers, because I had 900 followers like most people do on Instagram. Friends, family, people that I've met along the years. I had 900 followers. And then one day I made a video that the marketplace liked, and the next day I had 10,000. Or the next couple days, a week or two later. I'm not an influencer. I'm just a person who's consistently putting out content that more people want to hear. It's like everybody's an influencer. You're one piece of content away from your big break. You're one piece of content away from reaching people with a message that they haven't heard before. So just be yourself, be unique, and consistently work hard to produce and output things that the marketplace wants, and you win. I'm not doing anything crazy. I just keep showing up. I don't always want to come on the live stream. I don't always want to make videos. I don't always want to do what I'm doing, but I do it because I believe in the big picture of it all. Somebody said I was sharing Flecka's videos and they got clapped. Yeah, I'm getting threatened of getting clapped on here all the time. Emily says, we're so grateful for you sticking with it. Thank you, Emily. Yeah, just keep showing up. I mean, that's the simple story of it. It's like, I just keep showing up. There's days where videos that I make do terrible. There's days where they do great. I made what I thought was a really funny video an hour or two ago, and I looked at it 2 hours later, it's 73 likes. I'm like, That's outrageous. Most of the videos I make have 73 likes in the first 4 minutes, and 2 hours later it only has 73. Is that because the video is bad or they're suppressing it? I don't know. Don't care. Next piece of content coming down the pike. I don't care. It's like I used to get really worked up about that, and certainly it's frustrating, but the algorithm changes, the way that the marketplace changes, the way that people consume it changes. You just got to keep plugging. I've got thousands of posts. I've made like over 2,000, almost 2,000 videos at this point. Beck Jean says, I haven't seen you in a bit. Yeah, I've been certainly getting clapped. Sometimes I have to look for your videos. Other times I see them right away. Yeah, exactly. That's the game. Somebody said I'm in the Florida Keys, sharing you best I can. Appreciate that. Maggie says, thanks for having a lot of wisdom in the political arena. Thank you so much. Look, I just really care. That's the thing, is like I really genuinely care, and I believe in how dire it is. And one thing that I've been really good at in life, generally speaking, has been predicting the future to some degree about certain things. Not everything, but certain things. And I can see something coming down the line, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is bad. And I started participating because I cared about it. Because I'm like, this is going to be my world. This will be the world for my potential children, should I be so lucky. It's like, this is rough, dude. So I just hope that I just hope that more people feel that call and just work and participate to get involved. Easy to do something when you actually enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. But what I enjoy the most of it is you, the people. I enjoy the feedback that I get from other people more than I love the doing. I do have a Telegram. It's on my site. Just go to followbobby.com. Now, what I enjoy the most about all this stuff is the people and the reactions that I get from them. That's what makes it worth it, is the influence that I believe that it's having on people. It's not about selling t-shirts. It's not about getting Venmos or selling badges. That helps me output more content. But the return from this is the feeling that I get that it's making the right influence on other people. Because if it didn't do that, I wouldn't do it. If it was making money, but it didn't influence the world, generally speaking, in what I believe to be the right direction, I don't know that the money would be enough. It's like, how much money would you need to have what you're doing have no purpose? It's like, I've run a business and I've seen how far money goes, because when the money gets tight, you suddenly don't love it so much anymore. Whereas with purpose, if something is purpose-driven, really the purpose doesn't get old. People say, I love the merch. That's what's up. I have a whole drawer full of merch. Hell yeah. Somebody said I'm a truth bomb in a sea of BSers. Thank you so much. Agreed. Somebody said on TikTok, my daughter said she can't take me seriously. I was watching the rally on my phone. Yikes. Thoughts on Kyrie? I think Kyrie is on point. A brave person, deserving of great respect. Glad that he is leading like he is. Some of the questions on Instagram are getting zany. Somebody said, Gordon says, when all of this stuff clears, would love to see you have your own show on a larger stage. Well, I'm starting to do some stand-up. I have 8 stand-up shows booked right now. I'm opening for Chad Prather for 5 shows in Southwest Florida in November. Go to bobbysauce.com and click on schedule up on the top bar to see all the tour dates that are coming up. And then I'm doing 3 comedy shows with 2 awesome comedians, Mike Merck and Terry McNeely in December in Florida as well. Orlando, the Naples area, and then Boca Raton. So come and see it. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's called the Florida Man Tour. Go to tinyurl.com/Florida Man Tour And we got these upcoming shows. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, as long as people continue to like the message and it keeps getting distributed, then I think that would be a lot of fun. And I certainly hope that that continues to happen. Yeah, go to tinyurl.com/FloridaMan Tour, or just go to bobbysauce.com and click on schedule, and all the tour dates and the tickets and whatnot are all listed in the on the page there. It's also on the homepage on bobbysauce.com. Somebody said I was thinking Judge Bobby. Yeah, I don't know. Maggie said, I'm coming to Florida in December, need to come see you. Yeah, go to bobbysauce.com and click on schedule. Yeah, Florida Man Tour, bobbysauce.com/schedule, or bobbysauce.com. Go to the nav bar and click on schedule, and you'll see the upcoming dates. All right, y'all. That's all for me tonight. I appreciate it. I hope to talk to you before Tuesday. I plan on right now live streaming during the elections on Tuesday night. I'm gonna hopefully get a little bit of some stuff going on over here and have a little jam session going on. I know a lot of people will be live streaming that night, but I would like to do that myself and hang out with some of y'all, so look out for that. But I would assume that you'll probably hear from me before Tuesday. So get out there and vote, convince other people to vote. Go America. Let's do it, dog. All right, bye for now. Instagram, thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated. Thanks for the love. Make sure you follow me if you don't already. TikTok, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I'll see you tomorrow. Facebook.